Last mission. Final boss mode.
Yeah, what's good, Joe? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, the shit's real, we talk about it. I'm yours for tonight, Patscorpio, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do? Lauderdale Boss, LB, aka Shutterworth da Gawd, Ring Gang Radio.
Ring Gang in the house, forever and always, yes sir. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What it do? You already know what it is. Boy King P, Bodega Box in the building. Let's get it.
Hey, Bodega P, straight from the sewer, yes sir. So yeah, man. We got some interesting cards this weekend, man. But honestly, the big two this weekend. I'll start with the biggest one. Obviously, is the Andy Ruiz Anthony Joshua 2 card. That's all the way in Saudi Arabia. Arabian Nights.
Oh,
Great
God.
run back.
Yes, So there was a whole bunch of controversy about niggas like why I gotta be in Saudi Arabia for? What the fuck? I saw nothing wrong with it. I think LB, you had an issue with it.
A little bit. You kind of low key won me over after the whole podcast. Well, during the podcast, I think you mentioned Callum Smith, George Groves was there.
Yeah, that was in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Yeah. So
and that fight was lit.
It was.
That was another time when Callum Smith was actually looking like the king of 168.
Right, man. That's been like a lifetime.
Simpler times. Like, damn, that was last year. I know, but boxing moves fast and slow at the same time.
Yeah, sometimes careers be spoiling on the vine and we don't even know it.
Santa Cruz.
But yeah, Saudi Arabia.
This is a good fight. I'm hyped though, man.
Oh yeah, so am I too. As most people know, I am a fan of Anthony Joshua. So we're all. So I'm looking to see how a former champion responds. Can come back. See what he can do to right his wrong. But before we get into that one, by the way, just to mention before, on East Coast time, the undercard starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, bro.
Yo, fuck out of here. Okay.
Yeah, nigga. 11 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, hold on. What's the first fight, though? Because, sometimes you can miss the first fight if it's bullshit.
Well, this is a matchroom card, so they have like the two prospects in the lower weight levels. It's not the heavyweights just yet, but just like because matchroom has a whole.
Okay. So in other words, 11 o'clock if you seeing everything, but 12ish or 11:45ish.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to get that early snacks, breakfast out the way.
Facts. Yeah, I know. I got
shit real quick and then come back home like okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I got my lady that she's gonna be around this weekend, so I gotta make sure I gotta do things early in the morning. I'm talking about before so I can concentrate on my boxing.
This is like a marathon event.
Yeah, exactly. Fight. Hell yeah! Saturday is a day of boxing. Like real talk, man. Like I might be all boxing. I might just at the end of the day just have to sit up on my couch stinking in my beater and just start throwing jabs at my lady. Not sometimes.
What the fuck?
Just because my mind's been warped by watching boxing all day.
I shadow box every day regularly, so it's always boxing like. But a boxing day and it's all day, like, geez, like I ain't gonna be able to sit down. Like,
yeah, like I gotta make sure I gotta wash my ass way before all this shit starts. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta have my lady, go out, go do grocery shopping for me, all types of shit like that. Cause I don't want to move from the couch. I don't want to miss shit. It's rare to have a Saturday like that, especially cards that are spaced out like this. So it's a treat if you're a boxing fan.
The card runs smooth and not no extendo, long, boring, drawn out. It don't even have to be as bad as Canelo Kovalev, but there's this one card. I felt like it went on forever. I think it's the rematch with Bellew and Cleverly.
Oh yeah,
Man.
yeah.
As long as it's not like that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, and as I mentioned before, LB, like the undercard for this, like at least the heavyweight parts, reminded me of the shit with like Bird and Galata and all that. Like that undercard, that King
Bird,
undercard.
Galata,
Fucking Williamson and McCall, Rockman and Meehan.
Yeah, damn, I got that.
Okay, no, it was Bird and McCline and then Ruiz Galata. And then
that shit went crazy. And I think Rockman knocked Meehan out early, right?
Hell yeah, he beat him down.
Yeah.
And that was a dope card from getting up from top to bottom. That shit was dope.
It was. Now, I know people are gonna be like, hold on, Galata Ruiz was the main event, and y'all say it was a dope card. Well, that was dope because of fuckery reasons.
Yeah.
And then it's not often you seeing cats dropping John Ruiz like that.
No, especially me. And I don't like John Ruiz, but this is actually one of John Ruiz's better fights to watch.
Yeah, like so it was a good fucking. It's honestly one of the tapes, like boxing tapes, I watch more often. Like you know how you got your favorite fights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's a tape, like you got the whole event. So I ain't gonna. It's that one. Then I think the tape that got Floyd and Chop and I think Roy Tarver.
Yeah.
Barrera won. Like you just you run them shits like.
See, kids, this is some real boxing shit, like tapes.
Yeah.
Before torrents, it was tapes. We used to trade tape out here, bro. That's how we used to get down, man. Those were the days, man. And that takes
you back though, because when you play that shit, you get the whole, like, if you got the whole event and you see how everybody's talking and just the production values, just like ooh.
Yeah, and that shit, and the VCR saying better be on SLP, else your shit out. Look, you may cut off at an inopportune time.
Yeah, I had them EP tapes.
Yeah, hey,
Green Maxwell.
Hey, that 8 hours, man, or that 8 hours shit. Hey. Yo. Oh man, those were the days. But let me not digress from all that.
This is the type of card, 20 years from now, someone's gonna be like, okay, you got like a little heavyweight fight, or Arabian Nights heavyweight matchups, okay.
Yeah, and with the heavyweights, I mean, obviously the probably the most interesting of the heavyweight undercard fights is Alexander Povetkin, who I'm just amazed at his career arc. Like, from a guy who's just, I mean, now his career is set to the point where he gets all these lucrative ass fights, facing up and comers or whatever. Either a champion needs to prove himself or up and comer that needs some stripes. Because
he's dangerous.
Yeah,
he hit hard. He be in good fights for the most part, except that monstrosity with Klitschko.
Yeah, exactly.
The eyesore, the octopus, and I don't know what other animal could make a fight that bad. It got to be an octopus and something, like, because that's what.
Yeah. That fight was just on some. Yeah, I try not to think about the fight. I mean, after the 3 knockdowns, which should have ended that fight, and it got extended longer than it should have, I mentally tuned out.
Damn, two guys with gold medals.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of Klitschko fights, though. You end up tuning out halfway through.
Yeah, unfortunately,
this one, the Bragomov fight was like that too. But man, this was even worse.
No, nothing could be worse than the Bragomov fight. Like that one, them niggas had a parry.
Yeah, because you ain't get no knockdowns like that. But,
yeah, at least Vlad actually knocked Povetkin down like 3 times.
I thought it was like 4.
Bragomov, all it was just fucking parrying. Imagine being in the main event in Madison Square Garden. All you doing is fucking parrying each other.
Like, it was fencing with fucking swords.
Pissed at that shit.
Yeah, if I would have paid for that, I would have been pissed. No lie.
And kids, yes, and that is the reason why Vlad originally got thrown off American TV. He was a staple on that American TV, HBO, until that fight, and that's why he got exiled for a good minute after that fight. So yes, just keep that piece of trivia in the back of your head. You may need it one day.
And rightfully so.
Yeah,
rightfully so. Getting thrown off. You got the the Fresh Prince, that Jazzy Jeff, when Uncle Phil boots him out the house.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's
out.
exactly what it was, man. It was just, it was in
that boring ass shit over there on the other side of the pond.
Facts. But with Povetkin, no, he's actually facing Michael Hunter, who's like the up and coming heavyweight prospect out there. So I mean, it's an intriguing fight. It depends. Like Michael Hunter, you know, I mean, I know LB, you had some criticism about his last performance.
All that jumpiness, man.
Yeah, against Kuzman. Although he did win the fight, he did knock dude down. I mean, one would thinking that like he probably could have put the dude away.
He needed a better performance, in my opinion. Like, and he got hit a little too much for a guy who was slow and he had advantages over.
Right. Yep. That's very true.
Moved too much when he didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 3-foot rule, people. 3-foot rule. when you extend it to 5 and 6 feet, you can't fire back. You know, when you counter. You jumping on the other side of the ring because, you know, he throw a jab at you. The fuck? So it's shit like that. Like, that's what I pick up on. You know, everybody watches boxing different. When I look at boxing, I'm usually looking at, damn, how can, if the performance ain't really good, I'm looking at it, and in my head I'm like, okay, how could this be better, more effective?
Right.
And Michael Hunter, I saw a whole bunch of shit where I'm like, yeah, this could be better. He could be more effective.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Hunter has a lot of talent. He does have talent. He has a lot of raw talent. And frankly, I'm actually, you know, it's good to see that he didn't let that brutal ass loss to Usyk derail him. Because I mean, that loss was, I mean, that loss is one of those losses that you'd see like that would affect a young fighter, you know. But he rebounded, and of course, that was at cruiserweight. Now he jumped up to heavyweight, and he's operating there. So I mean, this is definitely a good step up fight for him to see what he has against.
10 rounds?
No, it's 12. It's 12 rounds.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So that's cool. So I mean, so basically, we're looking for Michael Hunter. If we're gonna see him as like a serious contender for somebody's heavyweight title, you know, Povetkin is the guy that you need to look good against.
Yeah, he has to. He has to beat Povetkin, and he has to improve on the performance he had in his last fight, which was cool. It was solid, but if you're trying to, you know, get momentum and be that dude, if you're trying to get a Usyk rematch, you're trying to get a Wilder fight, a Fury fight, or Dylan White, or any of the other top guns, then you gotta look a little better. So, you know, just to help sell it.
Yeah.
And get the crowd, you know what I mean, and the fans, you know, on your side.
Right, exactly.
And you know, I feel like he could probably do that in this fight. You know, there's a little danger threat, increased level, so maybe he'll make him a little tighter or punch better, so he could really put a hurting on Povetkin.
Right, but like I said, Povetkin is still a very dangerous man, even as he's, you know, in the twilight of his career. He's a very, very dangerous man, and, you know, with both hands. So, I mean, we'll see, you know, if Povetkin can actually, you know, has one more good effort left in him. You know,
I mean, you already got used to, I mean, if you be honest, both guys last fight kind of prepared themselves for each other. Povetkin fought a mover.
Mm-hmm.
With
free mover. Yeah. And then Hunter fought someone who didn't move as much.
Yeah, so they got something to kind of build off on. Yeah, you know. I mean, Povetkin fought a guy that, you know, he moves so much, we want him to move off TVs for permanently. Like.
Oh, man. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that one. And also, too, I mean, they have another one of Matchroom's prospects. And like I said, forgive me if I don't. I never forget. I always forget how to pronounce this motherfucker's last name. Philip, and you know his last name is Hrgovic. And I know one of the players is silent. You know, it's you know, he's 9-0 with 7 knockouts. This is the other 12-round heavyweight undercard fight, and he's facing Eric Molina, who I think, if I'm not mistaken, is off a suspension for failing a drug test or something like that. You know, so I would imagine that, you know, for Philip, this is either a step up or something to put a name in his record. You know, because Molina, Molina's known for a couple of things: getting bodied and won by Chris Arreola, for giving Deontay Wilder some trouble before succumbing to KO, and then knocking out Adamek brutally in the 10th round, and then getting KO by Anthony Joshua and Dominic Brazil. So I mean, Molina's been down the, you know, he's faced the tops of this division. So I mean,
he's capable, you know. But if you're worth a damn, you're supposed to beat this guy.
Yeah, you know, this is the fight to actually do it. You know, I mean, I don't see an upset alert on this one, but I would not be surprised if Molina does catch him. But I don't think it should. I don't think.
Hold on. Let me ask you this: Who did you pick for Povetkin Hunter? Because we didn't do the little prediction.
No, we did not. I am going to go with Hunter just because I think he's just a fresher fighter.
Yeah, I could see that. But damn, it feels 50-50. Like a part of me feels like Povetkin might clip him at some point.
Right. I mean, Michael Hunter. Has shown a good shit. Decent job. I mean, dude withstood life-changing bombs from Usyk without going. Did he go down eventually or no? I'm trying to remember. Did he actually go down in that Usyk fight? Because he damn near almost got killed.
I see Povetkin, another monster with them hooks.
Oh yeah, no, Usyk did. Yeah, Usyk did drop him. He did go down. I think it was like one of them standing 8 counts type of shits.
You know what? Fuck it. I think Hunter is gonna kind of spoil a little. He's gonna win a ho hum fight. Like, I don't see that fight being it got potential to be good, but I think it's gonna have good little spots and good moments. But I don't think it's gonna be one of those. You'll watch it because the drama's there. It's an important fight,
right?
But I'm not sure. Like, I could just see some laziness, some untidiness going on in that fight, some spoiling. Maybe Povetkin not going as hard as he can to cut the ring off and get at him. Maybe Hunter.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised because if you ever heard me talk about Michael Hunter is the son of Mike, the bouncy Hunter, and his father was one of boxing's most notorious heavyweight spoilers. Like he was. And unfortunately, some of his personal issues got in the way of probably a better career. And what I saw in Mike the Bounty Hunter, I see in his son. They fight almost the same, except the younger one has a little bit more power. You know,
yeah, but he got the little spoiling in him. He, you know,
the spoiler gene it definitely got passed down to him. You know, he has it.
It comes out in the movement. So, you know what? Yeah, Hunter by decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he knocks him out, then that's great. You know, then throw him in with a heavy hitter. See what he can do.
That'd be great. A knockout either way would be great. You know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Gives Povetkin another lifeline or it elevates Hunter.
Yeah, because we at RGR always encourage the fade. You know, so in the end, it's always about the fade. You know, and the more fades on a card, the better it is.
Especially heavyweight fights. So
especially a heavyweight fade. You know, now if it goes a distance, that means they have to make sure they land fades upon fades. No spoiling. That's, you know, because like I said, that's what it's all about in boxing: skill and fades. Have enough skill to fade your opponent out of existence, out of their equilibrium. That's what it's all about.
So with all these heavyweight fights, I definitely want to see that. Dylan White's fighting too, right? He's coming back.
Yes, you know, Dylan White is a controversial figure in boxing, as in, you know, he's coming off that, that victory, that tainted victory, over Oscar Rivas. I mean,
that LB predicted.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like I said, because everything's still a question mark because he done failed the drug test. So it's like, and they still haven't come to a conclusion yet on what his status is.
He's just gonna act like we forgot. Now he already got a fight. Like who Oscar Rivas fighting?
I mean, Oscar Rivas has no one on his ledger right now. I mean, he's like, you know, this should be a no contest. He should not have a loss on his record.
So the victim already, so the victim not even turned his life around with a new fight, new situation, but the guy who committed this mockery of the sport. You know, he has a fight lined up on a big ass card like that.
Yeah, man, this is somebody that's it's boxing, man. Sometimes you just can't understand how things go down in boxing. Sometimes they just happen, and sometimes you just roll it just to see the fuckery play out. And this is a whole boatload of fuckery. Now, Dillian White, however, is facing someone who is familiar, you know, to the heavyweight scene, Marius Vach.
This guy.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, I mean, this guy, I mean, obviously, I mean, he is also partaking in one of Klitschko's, you know, struggle fights. In which case, Klitschko beat the hell out of him. So did Povetkin too. Povetkin actually stopped him though.
Yeah, Povetkin beating his ass.
Yeah, and then Big Baby stopped him too in the fight. That fight made me walk around my living room, like, because I had to keep myself from falling asleep watching that shit.
That was the Leo Santa Cruz heavyweight fight. A whole bunch of punches landed that just don't seem to do anything or impactful or meaningful. It just you're watching a fight just to see a fight.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, this guy. So yeah, this is one of them fights. I mean, he's a live body, you know, but dude is almost 40 years old. So Dillian White should not struggle. This should actually be a fade. Like, this is not. I mean, this will probably be a beatdown, epic beatdown. So I mean,
shouldn't even go that long. If this go past 5 rounds,
then somebody done fucked up.
Yeah,
you know?
and I fucks with Dillian White, but. He just don't do himself any favors with these damn the peds, yo, the steroid shit.
Yeah, no, right, and you know, and like I said, even though he's fighting on this card, we still need an answer to see, because Oscar Rivas, if there was foul play, deserves to have his zero returned to him, and this shit should be a no contest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fuck all that. Like, with that, I don't trust those European or drug organizations as is. So I already gave him the side eye once that shit popped.
And you seen Billy Joe Saunders haven't looked as great as he has in the past since he got.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yep.
I mean, I know he hasn't fought an opponent as good as Lemieux, but
yeah, but at least
yeah.
But with heavyweights, it's a little bit different when they're not geared up. Like, if they're off the gear. I mean, it's something that's not a big as change as you think it is. Whereas if you're in lighter weights, obviously, yeah, you might see it, you know, as much. But heavyweights is not. It's really more. It's really it's like a slight drop. You know what I mean? It's like a slight drop in performance. It's not. It's nothing.
The skill level heavyweight is so up and down.
Yeah.
Like, anybody could beat anybody on any given night. You know.
Exactly. Which
like
brings
the
us
main event.
Yeah, which brings us to the main event. Yes. You know, we have Andy Ruiz, the first Mexican to lay claim to the heavyweight title, defending his belts for the first time against the man he took it from, Anthony Joshua. Now, yeah, like I said before, boxing is a theater of the unexpected. And no one expected Andy Ruiz to knock out Anthony Joshua. Now, as I mentioned before, Andy Ruiz has skills out the ass, and that I've never denied. What always bothered me about him was his conditioning.
He's fat.
Yes, thank you, P. He's fat. You know, and like I said, sometimes, like I said, the fight. I mean, sometimes your body appearance. I mean, you don't have to be Diesel to be a good fighter. And Andy Ruiz is a perfect example of that. And he like I said, I mean, we all know the story. I mean, it's supposed to be Big Baby Miller, but then this motherfucker was found with 3 different types of PEDs in the system. Like that motherfucker was coming to try to commit murder.
He was legit trying to be a super soldier, like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
the Avengers shit next level.
Which, and of course, what he popped for kind of explains some of why a man of his size seemingly never got tired with this type of work rate.
Yep.
You know, and how he always got fucking bigger, you know, and still kept his work rate like that, which is kind of, you know, that answers some questions. So, of course, now we're left without an opponent. So, I mean, they go down, you know, they go from Konaki, they got Ortiz, you know, they offer him $8 million or whatever, you know, for this fight. You know, they all turn it down. Every one of them turned it down.
Yeah, apparently $8 million, you know, $8 million ain't shit.
No, of course not. You know, not if it's
especially over there, Daddy Warbucks. You know, you at PBC.
Yeah.
You know, you playing around with Floyd training camp money. You know what I mean?
Right.
What's $8 million? The fuck?
You know what I'm saying? And then obviously the Andy Ruiz comes in. Now Andy Ruiz, for the most part, has never been a staple on American TV like that. I mean, pretty much if you saw Andy Ruiz fight prior to a Joshua fight, I mean, well, the PBC card is probably his most noticeable American fight, but most of the time you'd find him on Pacquiao undercards or some most top-ranked pay-per-view undercards. That's where he used to. That's where he used to operate a whole lot of.
But if you was a hardcore boxing fan, you knew who he was. Better vote against Miller.
Yeah, he was. You know, it looks like he's dangerous. And then
late replacement being better than the original fight that y'all tried to sell us on some bullshit.
Right. You know, like I said, and it definitely backfired. And what made it worse, and above all, Ruiz had been active, very active. I mean, like I said, he was on that fight with Demetrenko, knocking him out in 5 rounds on the PBC card. So he was like, "Oh yeah, Eddie, yes, I want a shot at this title." And Eddie's like, "Well, he's a good fat bloke. Let's put him in there with Anthony Joshua and see what he can do. You know, you can give him a couple rounds before Anthony Joshua knocks him out. You know, that type of mentality.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, it backfired in the worst way. You know, so yeah, here we are. I mean, Ruiz has been enjoying all the trappings of being a champ. You know, you see him. I mean, dude be everywhere, man. Like, dude is out there. You know, and then you have Joshua.
You know, he earned it.
Yeah, he earned it. Yeah, there's no question about me, dude. I mean, especially, I mean, as we know, that wasn't his first shot at heavyweight title. I mean, his lone loss was to Joseph Parker for the WBO title,
which I may add wasn't really a loss in my opinion. Just my opinion. But go debate with your
close
mother.
enough, like you could argue it for Ruiz. That's true.
But the only thing that this is the fight that made me really disgusted, because I really felt that Ruiz was not in the shape that he needed to be for that fight. That was the thing, and I think that was the part that's like they made it too close. And you know, when you have a close fight like that, you're fighting in fucking New Zealand. I think that's what it was. Of course, they're gonna give it to Parker. You know? Yeah.
It wasn't.
He
wasn't
made
a
that
fight,
shit too close.
I could say he got robbed.
I mean, it was close enough, but either way, I just felt like that was not the time.
Yeah, but remember, close fight don't mean a robbery. Like, especially when we all could agree that he could have been in better shape to go a little harder.
I didn't say it was a robbery, but this is where
I'm not. I know you're not saying. I'm just saying in general. Like
I didn't say it was a robbery either. Just the wrong person.
I know you did it, but there's a few people out there that think he got robbed in that shit. Like he was some unknown talent that got shitted on, and that's not the case. I'm just saying for people listening, like it was a close enough fight. Yeah, could have gone either way, but him not being the champ.
Yeah, I think I've come to terms with the fact that term doesn't mean what people say it does these days. When somebody these days says that fight was a robbery, that they're basically saying the wrong person won in their opinion.
Yeah.
That's really what a robbery is, though.
No, but I mean, like they just feel like differently. It's different. I don't know. I look at robberies different.
Yeah, I mean, robberies and a fight that could go either way, a close could go either way type of fight is different. Like Ruiz and Parker could go either way, but Bradley Pacquiao won fucking robbery.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is with robbery is when I look at, like, when I think of, like, is something a robbery or not, I try to look at it because we all have our inherent biases when it comes to judging, you know, fights. You know, Lord knows how many times fucking LB gets on me for, ooh, back foot boxing ass nigga. So we all have our biases. But when I think of a robbery, I try to think, okay, what would somebody else think? Because some people judge it differently. And another style I could say is like, okay, well, you know, he did this and this and this, so I could see why somebody else would think that he won the fight. A robbery is, I can't think of any other way, even if I was in another man's shoes with another man's biases and trying to give that person as many rounds as possible.
Overly clear. It's like obvious. It's like, that's how you have to dominate someone and still lose in order for someone to say it's a robbery.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's why I say Pacquiao Bradley won is one of the biggest robberies recent times. Like, because that's literally one person won 9 rounds to 3. Like, if that's not a robbery, you know.
Ugh. Sheesh.
Oh man.
Yeah, just thinking about you know, the only one I could go worse than that is Emmanuel Augustus and Courtney Burton won.
Yeah,
That's even worse than Pacquiao Bradley if we talking robberies. Cause the ref was in on that shit.
Yeah. And believe me, believe me, we will probably touch upon robberies in a future segment on, you know, Real Talk, because like I said, but boxing has a lot of them, and God forbid let a recent big fight have one, you know, that we perceive as one. Yeah, we will touch upon that for sure.
So this fight gotta be a knockout then if Ruiz trying to win, and if Joshua just fight good enough, he might get the decision.
Yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, Joshua seems to be. I mean, he looks different now. Like you see the pictures of him. Like he took up a lot of bulk. He's a lot leaner. You can see it in his face.
Oh God, Lord knows how long it's took before. You know how many times people have said you're too fucking bulky before you fucking. I guess the loss kind of was a wake up call for him. Frank Bruno ass nigga.
I said that shit from jump. Like since he debuted, I was like, you know, I said the kid had it, but I just don't want him to ever go into Frank Bruno territory. You know,
Frank.
Like, and I mean, and slowly.
And on top of it, the whole training camp shenanigans and shit going on, he getting concussed and he not.
Yeah, I heard he got hurt. Yeah, I heard he got hurt in sparring, but. People fucking say that. It's fucking sparring.
No, I was going back for like the first fight, like where he really was looking like the recent shit for this fight, the rematch where I heard he ain't have a good day in sparring, but I mean, this boxing, you know.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, but I mean, there were a lot of, I mean, obviously there was a lot of distraction, you know, because, you know, Big Baby doing this and then having to prepare for a replacement opponent and then, you know, the issues of the sparring issues. I mean, it all came to a head. I mean, and that's
and then you down here in Miami and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Shit, you know, hoes on deck.
Yeah. So pretty much, see, can he actually respond back? You know, with Ruiz, who I'm pretty sure has gotten his taste of being a champion, has gotten champion's money, and you know doesn't want to go back to living that ordinary struggle boxing life. As he put it in different terms, of course.
Yeah, because you know a rubber match ain't coming.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. So I mean, it's just more. But even more than the slimming down is like, what's Joshua working on? Because I would imagine if he's if he takes off the ball, obviously he's planning on being a little bit more active with his feet. You know, he's planning on actually sticking and moving a little bit more. Because I think that was the thing. Is, you know, you can't. I mean. Yeah, having all those big muscles are nice, but it gashes you out quick.
Well, see, he was sticking and moving the first fight, but the thing is, he started out on some damn doing laps around the ring bullshit. Like, Like, you that fucking big, you don't need to fucking damn, be running from a nigga.
Well, technically, Ruiz was bigger than him in the weight.
I mean,
yeah, but look, we don't look at that. Look, when I look at Joshua and I look at Ruiz next to each other, I'm gonna say Joshua's the bigger dude.
Yeah, I want to see how Joshua adjusts this time around. Because honestly, it's funny because, and I said when it happened, like, it wasn't even just that he got hurt. He just looked like honestly, even though Joshua is the gold medalist, Ruiz looked like the more seasoned, fighter in there. So
well, because he was the most seasoned fighter in there.
But I mean, yeah, you're fucking gold, like people, because people told Joshua's gold medals and all of that.
Favorite, like, yeah, Joshua's supposed to be the seasoned guy. Yeah, fuck all that. Like,
yeah,
but what the fuck are you saying, Pat? Like, hold on.
You're the champion. You're the guy of the division. You're a gold medalist. Like,
you're unified champion. You're not just a champion.
Yeah, but you have to remember, Joshua almost had like 20-something fights, like 22, 23 fights. Ruiz has like 35, something like that. Like Ruiz.
But who had the bigger extensive?
Yeah, I was just saying. Who considered the competition?
That's true too. Yeah, man. We ain't gonna let you sit here and make no damn. Let that bullshit reasoning fly, bro. Nah.
Yeah, where's Ruiz's Klitschko on his resume? Where's his Povetkin? Fuck off.
Where's his Dylan White? Dude, we like. Shit, I would say he put more hands on Parker than Joshua did. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's also true.
But Joshua won his fight clearer, in a fight that I wouldn't never watch again.
I don't think none of us will.
Yeah,
similar to Brooke and Sean Porter.
Nigga, why are you bringing up that fight? No one brought up that damn fight.
Because it's an ugly fucking it's an ugly fight that you used to be bringing up to make a point.
Well, yeah, I bring it up in terms of.
And I'd be like, man, no one watches that ugly shit again.
I wouldn't bring up.
Wait. Which Sean Porter fight we're talking again?
With Kell Brook.
Oh God. Sean Porter has plenty of those ugly fights that I don't want to see again. So yeah, that's not saying much.
That's also true.
Yeah, that's also true. But now, Sean Porter kind of got some decent handful of fights, like
Yeah, but he also has Julio Diaz 1, which was
hold on, Julio Diaz 1 was a good fight though, like,
or maybe the second one. One of them was
number 2 was decent too. Wait. Like,
I gotta watch them again because one of them was an eyesore fight.
The second one was
the second one where I think the nigga started running.
The first one was dope.
Yeah, the first one.
Maybe it might have been the second one. It's been a while since I've seen them. I have to go watch.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, probably the second one you talking about, which wasn't a bad fight, but just wasn't as good as the first.
Exactly.
But yeah, my bad. Back to these heavies. So what you think Joshua got to do? I mean, you say like the skills got to change. He got to make some adjustments. He got to do some different shit.
Basically, and I think I mentioned this before. Like honestly,
running.
Honestly, I'm just thinking about a random fight: Bruce Seldon versus Joe Hip. And basically, like, I mean, Bruce Seldon pretty much used the jab and hammered Hip's face bloody, like, kept his distance and like pretty much battered him with the jab alone, until they stopped the shit. And that's how I foresee that, and hopefully that's the type of change that I'm seeing. As in, like, Joshua's not just gonna go in there and try to fade the dude out without at least softening him up a little bit, because that's what happened in the first fight. Like, he knocked him down, he went in for the kill, and Ruiz caught him with a left hook that disrupted his equilibrium for.
Because Joshua loves fighting in the mid range, like got all those advantages, but he wants to get up close and land uppercuts and hooks. Like, what the fuck?
Ruiz to me has the advantage when they're in close range. I feel like that was obvious. That was more evident in the first fight than ever. Just keep it the distance.
Yeah, because Ruiz has, for a man of his size, he has fast hands. He can find insight and he has fast hands.
That's why you can't fight him in his element, man. Like basically, like Ruiz, his quick hands is the only real good attribute he has.
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna say if Joshua had better footwork, then his style could have been more exploited, Ruiz's style, but Joshua doesn't really have that great footwork either.
Nah, his footwork is good enough. It's decent enough for a guy like Ruiz. It's like Ruiz ain't on no damn Margarito seek and destroy, cutting off the ring. Like real talk. Joshua last fight, he showed the blueprint of what he's supposed to be doing, and I'm talking about rounds 4, 5, and 6 in the Povetkin fight.
Right.
Where he jabbed and he moved around, boxed from a distance, and slowly was damn chipping away until the bigger shots came. Boom. Then he took him out brutally. That's all he has to do. Throw away the hook, throw away the uppercut. Just jab, double, triple it up. Send the right hand down the pipe. Move, pivot. You ain't even got to do all these fucking big fucking steps. 3-foot rule, done. It's like, this is the easiest fucking strategy rematch you can fucking think of. Like, honestly, I don't know how Joshua could blow this shit. I'm picking him by fucking decision.
Yeah, and yeah, that's why I have it too. I have it by decision. If he knocks out Ruiz, great. You know,
I want to say late knockout. I think he could really bust him up, but I feel like he might play it a little safe. But I feel like if he really should just go for the knockout if it comes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, don't coast. Don't wait for the fucking decision. Like, you lost by knockout, try to get that knockout back.
Right.
Or at least beat his ass where that whooping is so clear and definitive. It's like, well, damn, you gonna wish he was knocked out.
Oh man, yeah, no, I definitely cannot wait. And yeah, I also concur. I do see Joshua winning by decision. I actually feel like now his mind is probably in a better place, and physically too.
It's just strategy to me, like just employing the right strategy. Like, I think all that shit you mentioned, the mind, his right place, all this, the interviews, he getting his little swag back. Yeah, like he there, shit. What you think Ruiz got to do?
Basically, Ruiz is gonna have to, because Ruiz said he's trying to come in lighter. Basically, Ruiz has to find a way to get on the inside. I mean, he's gonna have to. Yeah, I mean, Joshua doesn't move around all that much, so cutting off the ring I don't think is necessary. It's just basically he has to find a way to keep the fight mid-range. You know, because like I said, if he stays on the outside, he's liable just to get pummeled there.
I mean, sure. He don't really have to switch it up. I mean, really, I would say the onus really to me is on Joshua to really change things around.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I mean, I
feel you, but he can't look at it. He can't approach it like Alvarez did against Kovalev.
Right.
And think you don't have to do anything or make any adjustment, and
motherfucker
just gonna fall over it.
But he played it the right way in the first fight, so that's what I'm saying. Like, why would you deviate from? You have to deviate when the other guy makes you deviate. Joshua's got to come with a game with something different in the rematch, and then from there,
what if Joshua comes out the same way, drops Ruiz, but instead of trying to go for the kill, he plays it smart and employ the strategy I talked about, just jab, turning, basic boxing. Wouldn't Ruiz have to make an adjustment then?
Yes, that is true.
So what he gonna do? What he gonna fucking if he don't slip the jab enough and move his head, cut off the ring, if he gets too over anxious with them fucking wild hooks, he could run into a sneaky uppercut.
True.
I mean, he can't just be reckless.
I didn't think he really got all that reckless until Joshua was really hurt. Like, I mean, it's kind of reckless, but I don't think he'll be real reckless. I don't know.
I think so either. It depends. It's just, the only reason I even brought up the recklessness is just if Joshua hurts him or plays hit and don't get hit, and Ruiz can't really get off. If those rounds start banking, and we know this fight is set up for Joshua to win, man. Like, let's be honest. Like,
yeah, for sure.
This is his fucking redemption. Like, this is his shoulda get off the pot moment. So Ruiz has to be assertive. He has to do enough to keep the fight close, or to put him in, winning the range of winning possibilities. Because if he don't, we just gonna be just, all right, Joshua took this one.
Yeah, it'll be at some 9-3-8-4 shit.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I hear you. You're right. Can't disagree there.
I just want to see a good fight, really. Like, at the end of the day, let December, let boxing, 2019 end with a bang, a good heavyweight fight.
Right.
Yeah. So let's make it a...
Yeah, because I don't think heavyweights I don't think there's a heavyweight fight that's a candidate for fight of the year. Oh, wait a minute. Am I not thinking right about that? I mean, I think maybe.
Last year you had them like 2 or 3, like.
Yeah.
This year it's like, man, but look what we had this year.
Right. Yeah.
We got more knockout candidates of the year and upsets and comebacks and surprises.
Yep.
You got the cut of the year. I mean, what else we got at heavyweight? You got upset of the year at heavyweight.
Yeah, but yeah,
definitely might have had knockout of the year.
Yeah, but yeah, no fight of the year candidate. So
gave you everything else though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm definitely excited about this fight, and like I said, hopefully that my mood won't be like changed, because of a unexpected result, but like I said, for everyone's listening. That's listening to this. The main event itself is supposed to start at either 3 or 3:45, somewhere around that time, Eastern time. So you can do the conversion in your own time zone where you live yourself. I'm not doing that for you. So So yeah, I mean, it's a good card. I mean, it's an afternoon too, so it's not like it's not going against any other card, which is good.
So we'll have time to enjoy this card and then enjoy a on purpose card from a good card that's on purposely good from Showtime. No, wait, PBC, but which platform?
Yeah, Showtime. Yeah,
Showtime. Okay,
yeah,
so on purposely good card.
Yeah, this is a good segue into that card.